Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another video. So today I wanted to share with you all a story about my first non-deal. Okay, so this is a situation that happened some years ago, about 2017 or so, 2017, 2018. But I wanted to share it because it's something that you all may have gone through. And it's just a part of the journey sometimes. Learned a lot of lessons from it. And hopefully you guys will learn from my mistakes so that you don't have to do the same thing, all right? So that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. But before I start, go ahead and click that like button so that I know you love the content that I'm providing you. And it also helps with the algorithm, and it helps with other people who are looking to get this information as well. And next, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that you're notified of whenever I am posting a video. All right, and like actually subscribe to the channel. Don't think about it. Actually subscribe so that you can actually see these videos. And even though they may come up every now and then, it's just YouTube letting you know, like, all right, well, we noticed that you've watched a few of this channel's videos, so we'll just let it show up. But to make sure that you continue to see the information I'm providing, just go ahead and subscribe so that you can get those notifications. All right. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and talk about my first non-deal. All right. So yes, I got paid from this situation, but it was not the way I wanted to get paid. All right. Now, when I say it's not how I want to get paid, I'm talking about the end of this. So I'll give you a little, spoiler, tell you about the end. And what should have happened and what actually happened, and then I'll tell you the story leading up to it. So what ended up happening was I ended up getting paid about less than $2,000, but I was supposed to get paid about $40,000. Exactly. So let me go ahead and explain how that happened. All right, so I'll take you through the genesis of me learning about wholesaling and then what led up to this exact situation. So first off, 2016, I am working at a company and there was some downtime and I decided to go on YouTube. And so I'm going on YouTube, looking up different real estate stuff. And a side note here, whenever you're interested in something, if you're passionate about something, just constantly feed yourself information from that. Watch videos, just look at these different things, and by being around that information, you'll take pieces of it and it'll then bring you closer to achieving that thing that you wanted. So just want to put that out there. If you want to be, a real estate investor, watch real estate investing videos. If you want to be a doctor, watch videos that speak about going to medical school and preparing for that, and trying to get an internship or some type of shadowing situation to where you can be around doctors. If you want to be an engineer, same thing. Go around other folks that are engineers. Go to schools of engineering. Speak to these different students. Like whatever it is that you want to do, be around the information, take in the information, because you never know. You never know. You will get information that will bring you towards your goal. So, all right. I was at work watching different real estate videos, and then some dude comes across the screen. All right, I'm watching him. He's talking about credit. He's talking about this, talking about that. Then he talks about this thing I never heard of. In that context, he says wholesaling. I'm like, okay, what is wholesaling? He explains it. Who's that guy? Jay Morrison. All right. Some of you guys know him. Some of you guys don't. He was the first person I heard of speak about wholesaling. Very knowledgeable guy. And he's part of the reason why some of the things I am doing now and the things I will do in the future, it's because I was exposed to it by him. So, great guy. So, Jim Morrison is speaking about wholesaling. He gives different tips and all these different things. So initially, in my mind, I'm like, okay, whoever this guy is, I need to know more about him. I need to know where he lives. I need to know, because he probably doesn't live where I live. And I want to go learn from this guy. So at the time, I already moved out. I'm originally from Florida. I already moved away from home. I'm living in Texas. I know I don't want to be doing this job for the rest of my life. So I'm like, hey, I need to find a way to move to. It looks like he's in New Jersey. I need to find a way to get to New Jersey so I can learn some information from this guy because this is what I need. And at the time, wasn't married. And I still don't have kids. So it was well, I'm out. Like, I'm down to go wherever. So as I'm watching more and more videos and I'm getting these different ads and stuff, I realized that he's gonna have some type of event in Atlanta. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So instead of just going to New Jersey, I'll actually be able to meet him in Atlanta and get some information from this event and potentially sign up for his course and things of that nature. So I signed up for the course, didn't finish it because it was a bit pricey for me at the time. I think it was like $150 a month to access the course. You know, I didn't want to continue to pay $150 a month. So I got a few lessons in and I stopped, but got to go out to the event. And then my journey just continued there of just soaking up knowledge of different videos that I would see on YouTube, just piecing together, you know, bit by bit, you know, what can I do with my given circumstance. So what I was able to do at that moment was, well, I can do bandit signs, right? So instead of just ordering the pre-made bandit signs, which were pricey, right? What I did was I saw a video of some guy, I don't remember what his name was, but he said, hey, if you guys are wholesaling on a budget and you want to do something, you know, where you can start right now, marketing, go and get this a board similar to the same material. I think it's called corrugated plastic. I believe that's what it's called. But you can go to Home Depot and get these huge boards. Like, it's the same material that bandit signs are made out of, but it comes in this huge board. So what you'll do is you'll measure it up, divide it up into the squares or rectangles of what your boards would be, and hand write those signs. It'll be a lot cheaper to do a bunch of those than to order a bunch of signs, all right? And so something to kind of give you an idea, whenever something is saving you time is gonna cost you more money, all right? And whatever is a lot cheaper is gonna cost you more time, in most cases. So in that situation, it costs more time to cut the boards and write everything out front and back and put those signs out at the different, you know, intersections and things of that nature. But I'm like, hey, I could afford to get this board, shop it up, write down. My handwriting is terrible, but I'm like, hey, let me take my time with these letters, right? And I went and I put those out at these different intersections from that board that I got at Home Depot. So I would be doing that. I would do that every Friday after 6 p.m. because that's what was recommended. I did that, and this is back when I was living in Dallas. And you know, every now and then I get a couple calls here and there. But I remember I was on vacation. I went back to Orlando, and I didn't have a specific amount of time I was going to be there because I ended up leaving that job and I was going to go to another spot. But I had like a one-way ticket to Orlando, and I was like, you know what, I'll probably be here for like a week, maybe 2 weeks or so, but then I'll just head back whenever I'm ready. But a few days in, I got a call from one of the bandit signs like, hey, they're interested. I'm calling from my parents. They have several properties that they're trying to sell. I'm like, it's working. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, no problem. So, you know, I'm like, well, everything's cool. All right, so when's your next availability? I know I'll be able to get there. And I was telling them, like, you know, a couple days from now. And they said, okay, no problem. So I went home, told my parents, told my mom and my sister, I'm like, hey, I got to go back to Dallas. Why? Because I got an appointment. The signs are working. People are calling, you know. So I flew back and I went to, what was the situation? I think I was already at the other job when I got back. I think that's what it was. So when I got back, yeah, because I had a different company car. So I went out there and I inspected the properties. I met up with them, inspected the properties, took lots of photos. It was an older couple. They had properties that they accumulated over the years, and they were just trying to sell everything. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm here for it. So built rapport, did everything, and I got several properties under contract. All right, and so now I'm like, all right, great, it's working. You know, all these steps, it's working. All right, and once that happened, I then knew of an investor. I'm like, hey, look, there's these properties. It's about an hour north of here. All right, and these are the numbers. This is what you're looking at. And they're like, oh, okay, it looks good. When can we come by and check it out? I'm like, listen, we can go on this day. We'll go together. All right, perfect. So I let the sellers know, hey, I'm gonna come by with my partner, so we're gonna check it out. Okay, cool. So we go out there, check out the properties, one by one. Okay, I'm loving this, loving that. Boom, boom, boom. Sounds good, sounds good. And they're all loving it. We're all on the same page, loving it. Price point was good. And when I looked at what I was supposed to make per deal, everything came out to about like $40,000 in assignments. So I'm like, oh man, if I make $40,000, this is crazy. Like, holy crap, right? So I am excited that this is about to happen. So mistake number one, once I got the properties under contract and I'm assigning it over to this investor, each property I said there had to be a minimum of a $5,000 non-refundable deposit. He said, well, since I'm buying all these from you, you mind if I just give you $500 per property? I mean, you're gonna end up getting the same amount anyway. So I just wanna pay $500 instead of $5,000 for now. I'm like, well, I mean, you're putting something on it, and I mean, you're gonna close, so I trust you. So why not? I like, okay, cool. So that was my first mistake. Each deposit went from $5,000 to about $500. So, that's mistake number one. So then, as we are working on getting things closed, because I went ahead and I handed them all the documents at the title company. Another mistake was I allowed the seller to choose a title company. I didn't pre-vet the title company and have them understand or check to see if they understood what wholesaling was. So that was my next mistake. So two huge mistakes at the very beginning, all right? I allowed the seller to pick the title company, and I allowed the end buyer to downgrade what they're gonna be paying or decrease what they're gonna be paying for that non-refundable deposit. So don't ever do that. I'm just letting you know right now, and you'll see why as we go on. So as time goes on, I'm calling the title company, hey, just checking to see how things are going. Oh yeah, things are fine. We're gonna be good for that date of close. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I got no reason to think that, it wouldn't. So time goes on, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be getting some type of something, like some call, something like, hey, this is going on. I'm like, hey, I haven't received anything. Oh yeah, you said the close was in 3 weeks, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, you're not gonna get anything right now. I'm like, okay, sounds about right. So I'm getting a call from that end buyer, and he's like, yeah, did you hear anything from them? I'm like, I mean, the closing's gonna happen in a few weeks, so we're good. Okay, well, there's no title issues? No, they said everything's good. I'm like, okay, cool. So getting closer to that close date, he's like, yeah, closing's in like a few days. You didn't get anything? I call him like, hey, what's going on? Oh yeah, so-and-so, they're out sick, so they're gonna be back. I'm like, well, closing's in a few days. Yeah, but they're out sick, so we can't close without them. I'm like, so what's gonna happen here? Oh yeah, just give us a little bit of time. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna need to extend. So I check with the buyer. I'm like, hey, just let you know we're gonna need to extend. Okay, no problem. Seller, hey, we're gonna need to extend because apparently somebody's sick. He's like, okay, well, I know the owner. I'm gonna speak to the title company owner. So speak to the title company owner, and that title company owner is not really responding. Hey, I tried to call, but they're not getting back to me. Okay, I tried to call and they're not getting back to me. The end buyer's calling, they're not getting back. Okay, now there's a communication error. So I'm sending emails. Okay, we'll get back to you later on, and nobody's getting back. I'm like, okay. So now time continues on. The extension gets to that point, still a problem again. Okay, I need to extend. All right, can I extend? Can I extend? Can I extend? Yes, okay, cool. But now the end buyer is like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm working on it. Like, it's cool. I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this issue? So fast forward with a bunch of nonsense. The title company does not know what wholesaling is. They are telling the seller, hey, we don't know what this guy's trying to do, but we don't know what he's doing. And I don't think he knows what he's doing either. seems sketchy. We don't know what's happening. So now there's distrust, but they're calling me like, hey, Eli, what are you doing? Oh, no, this is the person that's buying it. I'm pretty much like a middleman on this now. Okay, well, yeah, we see the person that's buying it. Yeah, this is his LLC name. This is what's going on. And so like now there's just confusion. Like, well, I thought you were buying it. Yeah, buying it with him. So a bunch of distrust, a bunch of like just nonsense is happening. And at the very end, the buyer decides like, look, I don't know what y'all got going on over there. I don't trust this whole situation. I don't want to buy them anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, we've extended several times. There's other opportunities out here, so I'm just going to go that route. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, well, I mean, do you want just like a couple of them, or like, what's the deal? None of them, right? And so, I mean, that's what ended up happening. So, sending a termination of contract. I'm like, well, you do understand you lose your deposit? He's like, yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's just a couple thousand. It's not like, it's $5,000 per property. So he was able to just walk away with only spending my couple grand instead of being out $5,000 per property. So lesson learned. So when all that happened, so now I'm calling the title company like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna need that money that he deposited. Oh yeah, we're gonna have it for you. Hey, what's up? I'm gonna need that money okay, yeah, you can come in today. So finally came in, and so I get a whole bunch of these small checks that came in, and that was the conclusion of my first non-deal. I called up the buyers at the end. Again, I'm like, hey, look, they're still trying to sell, but they're like, nah, it's all good. The contractor I had, he no longer wants to work that far, and it was a whole situation after that. So that is how I ended up getting my first non-deal. It was devastating because that money was in my mind. I had plans for that money. Like, I knew what I was gonna do with it. I knew what the next steps were gonna be. I knew how I was gonna, put that towards something else, but holy crap. Like, it was ridiculous. I was devastated, but of course, you all knowing the story, that's not where the story ended. That was just the very beginning. So hopefully you all got some lessons from that, and you do not make the same mistakes that I made during that entire transaction. So again, that's how I went from end up making about $2,000 to what should have been about like $40,000. Probably was more. I don't remember, but man, that one, that was so hurts to talk about, right? But hey, thank y'all so much for watching this video, and go ahead and like this video if it's provided you with any value, which I know it did. You learned some lessons in here that you shouldn't do, and also subscribe to this channel so that you are notified of whenever I am having another video. And with that being said, thank y'all so much, and I cannot wait for you all to get your first deal. See y'all later.